Right now at 10, the Sun Prairie School Board releases an independent report, what it concluded after accusations of child sex crimes against a former dean.
And regulating data centers, the new bill that would limit how much water can be used for them.
And stuck in the Caribbean, how the raid on Venezuela led to an extended vacation stay for a local business owner. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We begin tonight as the Sun Prairie School Board releases the results of an independent investigation into a case involving multiple child sex crimes.
It comes after the arrest of Sun Prairie West High School Dean Robert Gilkey Messigeyer last July.
In 2022, a teacher resigned after being accused of recording students in a bathroom.
And then in 2023, a former school resource officer was arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a student.
And then last July, the scandals came to a head when Gilkey Messigeyer was arrested. He is accused of having sexual contact with students and taking non-consensual photos of people using school surveillance cameras.
Later in August, a Milwaukee area attorney was hired by the school board to lead an independent investigation into the incident.
And today those results were released to the public. And for more on what they reveal, we now go to our Marin Rosen. Marin, what have you learned?
Well, Eric and Sarah, the investigation found that school and district administrators at Sun Prairie West High School failed to properly investigate allegations of an inappropriate relationship and missed multiple warning signs before an arrest was made. The investigation reports that rumors about the former dean and a student began circulating during the 2023-2024 school year, but administrators initially took no action. The report says the rumors continued into the following school year when a student who was not previously involved was suspended for repeating the allegations on a phone call. Investigators say the suspension also happened without interviews, and they found the principal's account of the incident not credible. More concerns surfaced in April 2025 when an anonymous tip accused the former dean of an inappropriate behavior towards a student, but no investigations occurred. Police were not involved until late May when the allegations spread on social media, and that investigation is what ultimately led to the dean's arrest. The report concludes school administrators failed to follow Title IX obligations, conducted limited investigations, and made several decisions that delayed action.
All right, thank you so much, Marin Rosen. And now to the weather. We have more 40-degree temperatures in the forecast. Jacob, how long will this last?
Well, it's only going to last for a few days, but once they do cool down, they're not going to cool down to extreme levels. Now, as we take a look at the current radar, a lot of that precipitation that we saw earlier has completely cleared out, just seeing some very light sprinkles for parts of the area. And throughout the night, we're really not going to see much in terms of precipitation, and we are going to continue to see these temperatures on the milder side. They haven't really dropped yet that much, and they're not going to drop too much further throughout the night. Right now, temperatures in the middle to upper 30s across Dane County, a little bit cooler further to the north and west where some lower 30s are currently the temperatures. But overnight, they're only going to drop to around 30 for a lot of the area, and this will lead to some foggy conditions with those milder temperatures. So as we take a look at the visibility forecast, kind of seeing that fog right now, and it may continue to get worse as we get towards Wednesday morning, especially for Madison and areas to the west where visibilities could be near zero at times. So definitely just be aware of that if you have anywhere to be Wednesday morning. Now, we may continue to see some fog through about noon, but once we get past noon, we are expecting to see the fog and the clouds clear up, and that will lead to some very nice conditions for the afternoon tomorrow with partly sunny skies and high temperatures in the upper 30s to maybe some lower 40s. So a pretty good day tomorrow, but then we have two systems to end the week, one of them prompting an alert day. I'll talk more about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob. Thank you. Today in Janesville, a petition was handed to City Hall by residents hoping to have more of a say in a potential data center development. That was created by the No Janesville Data Center Coalition and garnered 4,500 signatures. They're asking that any development project at the publicly owned former GM plant site go to voters for a referendum. Now, it's the most recent pushback from residents after protests outside City Hall in the fall.
In our economic development, it's going to have a huge impact. And that's something, if this, according to our city manager, this is one of the largest decisions that's ever been made for our city. And I think if that's the case, then our community should have a say in how that goes.
And while that was going on in Janesville, residents in DeForest continue their own disagreement at allowing an AI data center into their village. The company Quality Technology Services, QTS, wants DeForest to annex about 1,700 acres in the town of Vienna for it to build its data center.
And tonight's village board meeting comes amid new legislation that could give the state a stronger hand in the data center development. Our Arman Rahman explains.
Two state lawmakers who support AI data centers are proposing regulating those in the state of Wisconsin to tide some of the concerns brought up in cities like DeForest. Representative Shannon Zimmerman of River Falls and Senator Romaine Quinn of Birchwood just released their bill for sponsorship Tuesday, saying the data centers require a lot of energy consumption and need to be responsible. The proposed bill would require the Public Service Commission to ensure no other customers will see the cost of construction or extension of a data center on their utility bills. It also includes a requirement that any water used by a data center for cooling must be in a contained, closed-loop system to recycle it, which QTS claims its DeForest Center would have.
The state needs to request more of these water surveys.
Kelly Mack says she's an auditor for AI companies like QTS and its owner Blackstone. She says small communities like DeForest need the state in their corner.
Somebody offers DeForest $50 million. DeForest is going to jump all over that. They don't see this money just offered to them, but at the same time, they have to remember who they're doing business with. Yeah. Blackstone is an organization that we don't have the resources or the capacity to deal with if they do not keep up with their side of the agreement. We're asking everybody to slow down, take a deep breath. Let's wait till this legislation comes through.
But some union workers, including engineers and insulators, say why take more time to create more jobs? They want to bring the data center in to put more of their men and women to work and improve their area's infrastructure.
I think we're all entitled to our own opinions, and I think instead of being all up in arms about it, do a little research, educate yourself a little bit about it, and realize the big picture, of the work, the infrastructure behind it all, and the families that it's going to provide for.
Following public comment, the village board on Tuesday took up a petition that would require development of any annexed areas more than 30 acres or costing more than $10 million to go to a referendum vote. Reporting in the village of DeForest, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Arman. And the village board is still in public comment about the petition. Be sure to stay tuned to channel3000.com to find out how the board votes.
2 people are dead after a house fire this morning in Lafayette County. The county sheriff says that fire was reported about 1:30 in the morning on Dunbarton Road near the town of Shullsburg. Firefighters contained the blaze. When they entered the home, they discovered 2 people dead inside. Their identities have yet to be released. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
The Trump administration is freezing billions of dollars in funds for social services and child care in 5 Democratic-led states over concerns of fraud. Now, Wisconsin is not one of those states, but we do have safeguards in place. Back in 2010, the state had a child care fraud scandal. In its aftermath, a program integrity unit was created to ensure the state is properly handling all of the public dollars. But the executive director of the Wisconsin Early Childhood Association has other concerns.
I feel significant confidence that from this concern about fraud, that is not an issue in our state. And I think we need to be really careful about not vilifying this industry again. We cannot, as a state, afford for that type of rhetoric to happen in our state.
The child care industry is already short 4,000 employees, and local providers are worried about the possibility of the federal government withholding funding from other states.
After the U.S. raid on Venezuela, hundreds of flights in the region were canceled, creating an extended stay for one local business owner. Marissa Holmes owns Marie's Soul Food, located on Monroe Street. It opened roughly 6 years ago, and it's known for its home-style foods. And she was vacationing on the island of St. Thomas when President Trump ordered those airstrikes on Venezuela. Marissa is expected to leave on the 3rd, but now her flight home doesn't depart until next week.
We literally heard about what happened when we were on our way walking from our resort to the taxis to go to the airport. We had not known what happened. At first, I would say that I felt that we were stuck just because we were expecting to leave.
As Holmes prepares to head back home, she is hoping her customers, or as she calls them, family members, will help her business recover after going several days without any sales.
Coming up next at 10, it's the 5th anniversary of the January 6th Capitol riots.
And what's next for Venezuela? This as debate arises in Congress over who has the power to declare war.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro remains in a New York jail today.
This has questions come up over what comes next for Venezuela. President Trump says his administration will, quote, run the country, while Delcy Rodriguez, Maduro's vice president, serves as interim leader. Some lawmakers are pushing for a resolution to require congressional approval before further military action is taken.
I think it's one of the most important things that we do debate in Congress, and that is, when do we initiate war? Who has the power to initiate war?
In the wake of the Venezuela raid, the White House renewed its push to control Greenland. Denmark's prime minister said President Trump's threats should be taken seriously, adding that an attack on one NATO country by a member nation would mean the end of the alliance.
It has been 5 years since the attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. More than 140 officers were injured, maimed, gassed, and beaten by supporters of President Trump trying to stop Congress from certifying the 2020 election. One died the next day of a stroke and 4 more later by apparent suicide. President Trump was federally indicted on charges related to the riots. However, the case was dropped after he won the 2024 election. He then also pardoned more than 1,000 people who were criminally charged. And federal prosecutors who investigated President Trump's conduct related to the 6th say the plan to help him overturn the election originated here in Wisconsin. Right now, 3 former Trump aides are charged in our state with 11 felonies. Those are Jim Troupis, Kenneth Chesbro, and Mike Roman. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul brought the charges, and he argues these 3 men created a document that falsely said Trump won Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes in 2020 and then attempted to deliver the document to then Vice President Mike Pence.
Well, now to your forecast. Rain and snow once more on the way to southern Wisconsin. Jacob, when are we talking about an arrival time on this?
Well, we're going to see the rain Thursday, then we'll get a break, and then we'll see the snow Saturday. So it's not going to be the exact same system. And before either of those systems roll through our area, we're going to have temperatures in the 40s tomorrow, or at least near 40, and we'll see a good amount of sunshine in the afternoon. So a good day tomorrow, rain Thursday, snow Saturday, and the snowfall Saturday is what we have the alert day for in our forecast. Now, as far as how much snow we're going to see, still a lot of uncertainty, but we're expecting at least around 3 inches, maybe a little bit more for some areas, and that number will certainly change over the next couple of days as we're still 4 days out from the system impacting us. So we'll continue to update how much snow we are expecting, but it's going to be Saturday through Saturday night. That's when we're going to see that accumulating snow. So let's take a look at all of the precipitation chances from now until then. We'll see cloudy skies and some foggy conditions overnight, and then by tomorrow afternoon, we'll see a good amount of sunshine with clear skies early tomorrow night. Clouds developing by the time we get towards Thursday morning. It's not going to see the rain Thursday morning, but we will see it develop in the afternoon. Rain could be pretty heavy at times Thursday afternoon and evening, and areas further off to the north and northwest could see some of that rain transition to maybe some freezing rain and also maybe some wet snow. But Madison surrounding areas almost exclusively going to see just rain, maybe some flurries very early Friday morning, but a lot of the precipitation from the system will clear out early Friday with relatively dry conditions, especially in the afternoon Friday. Then as we get towards late Friday night and Saturday, here's that next system which we have the alert day for, and this system will produce mostly snow for our area. Still might see some rain for areas further southeast, but especially for Madison and areas north and west, all snow is expected from this system, and it is expected, or at least the potential for it to last throughout the day, all day Saturday into Saturday night will be there, and that is why we are expecting at least around 3 inches of snow, but there's still a little bit of uncertainty as to how much we'll see, so we'll continue updating that. And as we get towards Sunday morning, that will begin clearing out. Maybe some flurries early Sunday, but most of Sunday should be relatively dry. Now, this is expected to impact the Packers game in Chicago Saturday night. Now, Chicago is not expected to get quite as much as us, but 7 p.m. Saturday, there is a good chance for snow to be falling during the game. It'll also be a little bit breezy. But again, only minor accumulation. Some rain may mix in for Chicago. Not ideal conditions for the playoff game, but it is the Midwest in January. So to recap, we're going to see that rain Thursday through Thursday night, snow beginning late Friday night and continuing through Saturday night. And the accumulation is expected on Saturday, and some accumulation could be added for Saturday night as well. Now, once that system passes, we'll see a little bit of a drop in temperatures, but not a big drop. Upper 20s still for Sunday, and then we'll be back in the 30s for Monday and Tuesday. Then we'll drop again towards the end of next week, but for the most part, no bitterly cold days in the forecast, and this is the coldest time of the year, so that's very good news that we're not seeing any of those.
All right, Jacob, thank you. As he mentioned, the Packers getting ready for their NFC wildcard game this weekend.
And the last time they faced the Bears, it did not end so well. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more on how they're looking to avoid that outcome.
Saturday night's NFC wildcard playoff game between the Packers and the Bears at Soldier Field will mark the third time the two rivals have faced each other in a 23-day span. We all remember what happened the last time they saw each other in Chicago. It was December 20th. The Packers blew a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and ended up losing 22-16 in overtime. Packers coach Matt LaFleur says the Packers can't think about that, while safety Xavier McKinney says they have to make sure they're the team that wants it more, which may not have been the case the last time around.
I think that's in the past. I think there's nothing we can do about that. We just got to look to the future.
You know, we're both very familiar with each other. I think, you know, when you plan a team multiple times, I think it just comes down to play style and who's going to really play the hardest. And I really think, you know, that's what it is. I think, like, we're still going to prepare, you know, the right way and do it how we always prepare, but at the end of the day, it's going to be about, you know, when you get in between those lines, those white lines, who's going to go the hardest every play for 60 minutes. And whoever does is usually the team that come out successful.
One thing is for certain, the Packers cannot go 0 for 5 in the red zone. They cannot make big mistakes like Romeo Doubs not recovering the onside kick. They can't blow coverages. If they can avoid the mistakes that plagued them the last time around, even if they want to forget about them, they should advance to Seattle and their next round in the NFL playoffs. We'll have full coverage leading into the game and of the game itself from Chicago on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde for channel3000.com and News 3 Now.
Thank you, Jason. News 3 Now sports director Andrew Banstra.
This guy?
Oh, he's there. And reporter Nash Dara. Exciting to get to Chicago this weekend for the big game.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun.
You're going to cover some Friday stories, then you'll be at Soldier Field the next day. Certainly a big one.
Yeah.
Another big one tonight, though, right here in Madison.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg Gard and his Badger men's hoop squad needing to get that first big win in way too long. The highlights next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
It has been a full month since Wisconsin men's basketball has won a meaningful game, and in college hoops terms, that's an eternity. If the Badgers want to even make it to March Madness, they've got to figure things out and fast. Starting tonight against a good UCLA group, and tonight the Badgers weren't having any of the Bruins anything, which started and ended with Nick Boyd. The soft touch falls on the lay. The transfer senior says he's been waiting to play in big games at big arenas like this his whole life. He gives Bucky the early lead that would only grow from there. Greg Gard's been getting his freshmen more involved. Hayden Jones taking full advantage of the opportunity. But like I said, this one belonged to the senior. Beautiful ball movement leads to a Nick Boyd triple. Make it, get this, 28-9 early. And the Badgers would get a lot more where that came from. Boyd gets that big win he's been dreaming of. And much more of that to come, hopefully, for Bucky. 80-72, Wisconsin is your final. Kirsten Sims has just about done it all. When she was 4 years old, she dreamed of being an Olympian, a goal that she'll achieve in Italy next month. When she was 6 years old, the dream of being a Badger began. Well, obviously, she's checked that one off the list. She's not just a two-time national champion, she scored the game winner in each of those title games. This week's guest on the Wisconsin Huddle says the one thing that she hasn't checked off her list is back-to-back titles.
We've been gunning for it, and that's our target at the end of the day, and that's what we want, and so that's what we've been going for all year, and it would be the best way to go out, of this program, and I would want nothing more, and this group would want nothing more, and this is a special team, like I said, a special talent and everything that we have, so I think we'll get the job done, and that's the plan, and that's what we're going for, so it's just day by day, and once we get to that moment, hopefully good things happen.
Matt LaFleur's contract expires after next season, and there's a reason that he doesn't have a new contract extension. The Packers' top brass want their head coach to prove it, and what better way to prove it by upsetting, and I can't believe I'm ever going to say this, but the Big Bad Bears this weekend, playing Chicago for the third time in 6 weeks.
That's a pretty cool deal. I think anytime you're talking about division rivals and you're in the playoffs with a lot at stake, I think it just heightens it a little bit. Ultimately, it's about just being able to go out there and kind of channel your emotion and go out and execute. So the team that typically can do that the best is probably going to be the team that wins the game.
And we're also going to channel our emotions, but we'll be right back just in 3 minutes and 5 seconds on News 3 Now.
Tonight, Colbert's all new, and as I say almost every day, this is probably illegal. Plus, Jodie Foster, CBS Tonight.
Finally tonight, Marvel releases the third and latest online trailer for the upcoming film Avengers Doomsday. The new trailer features actors Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Sir Ian McKellen as Magneto, and James Marsden as Cyclops, all three reprising their roles from the original X-Men films.
So this new trailer follows other teasers for the film, which established the return of Chris Evans as Captain America, as well as Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Avengers Doomsday is set to hit theaters December 18th. So wait.
Did you mean December 18th of this year, Abe, right? Our producer?
Yes.
All right, so we got to wait a while, apparently.
There will be more teasers, I suppose.
I thought we were giving something to, hey, folks, get ready, get excited.
We're going to be
almost
waiting.
a year.
Yeah, it's like a year from now, basically.
Yeah. Summer won't come before that, folks.
There must be some serious, fans.
That's because our producer is a serious
I know,
fan.
exactly.
Jacob's got a final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to see another mild day tomorrow and Thursday, although Thursday we're going to see plenty of rain in the afternoon and evening. Friday, kind of a middle portion day as we see the next system move in late Friday night. Saturday, we'll see mostly snow, and we do have the alert day for that snow on Saturday.
All right, thanks for watching.
Banster's got to get ready for Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah,
He's got 11 months.
I can't wait.
Much more exciting than Packers Bears.
Exactly,
right?
of course, yeah.
All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Late Show with Stephen Colbert is up next.
Have a good night, folks.